So what I've done is I've prepared your average rhythm section backing that you would have on any Fleetwood Mac song or any Stevie Nicks song. So imagine Mick Fleetwood, imagine he's playing his drums. He's got behind his drum kit and he's playing a bit of drums, right? That sounds like this, right? It's a bit like this. Very straightforward. And then the other one, John McVie, did he forgot his name then? He just brings in a bass note. Now he doesn't do anything clever, he just does a bass note, same note over and over again, like this. Right, so that's all you need for every single track. Now, from a songwriting point of view, I'm going to explain Stevie Nicks' songwriting technique here, right? So here's my keyboard, all right? There's my piano there, all right? There's my piano, and I've got a 70s electric piano sound. If I just make that. So I've got a sort of 70s, can you still see me down there? I've got a 70s electric sound. So what Stevie Nicks does is she gets her hand, right, like this. She gets her hand and she forms it into a claw. It's called the Nicks claw, this is. It's the Nicks claw. And then what you do is you bring that over and you just plonk it down like this on your piano. Like that. And you can plonk it down anywhere. See the Nicks claw there? You can put it anywhere. The Nicks claw, you just, anywhere you want it to go. Anybody can do this. Once you've got that, now, how do you make that claw so rigid and strong? Well, Stevie Nicks used to get her road crew to insert into her bottom cavity some sort of straw, and there they would blow illegal substances up into that cavity, and that would have an effect on her and make her very like strong and rigid, and the claw would then take effect. She could see like a bit of a, and of course this is allegedly, I'm not saying this really happened. I might have made something up or dreamt it. But the fact is that this is the length she went to write her wonderful songs. Now, we haven't got to the best bit, but imagine you got this. Right? Anybody can do that once they've got the claw. I don't have to look. I mean, I don't play the piano, but I can just do that, right? So you can see the claw, right? You understand the claw. Now, take your microphone now. Now, this microphone's not on. I'm just pretending it's on. What you do then is you imagine you are a goat or some sort of sheep, but definitely a sort of grazing, creature, but not a cow, right? More of a goat or a sheep. And then you emulate that like this. Now, once you've got that and the claw, it's just a matter of dropping in some lyrics, but we won't have the lyrics to start off with. We'll just go with those two entities, right? And we get our Fleetwood Mac back in. You ready? So once you've got that going, you can do this anywhere. I'm just doing it randomly. Now I'm going to do the goat sound. Now we're there, we need some lyrics. Now, you basically take the word woman and then put any appendage before that, gypsy woman, tattooed woman, anything like that you want to put, gold dust woman, anything like that you want to put in front of it, usually a description of some sort. So if you think, well, let's just look around, what sort of woman could you be? Chubby. So say you've got a chubby woman. So I'm going to write a Stevie Nicks song about a chubby woman, right? With the goat voice, the claw, we got all the elements together. Now, you ready for this? chubby woman. You are a chubby woman. You are a chubby woman, like a big fat sheep. Go back, back, back. You had a bite of your cake, and you had a little bit of. Oh God, I don't know. Anyway, but you can see my point. As that illustrated, shall I get more in a better position now? So that's that is why Stevie Nicks gets on my nerves. Bloody hell, she's still going, still doing it, isn't she? Now, there was an incredibly really talented man, you know, and talented people don't really do that well in the music industry, but there's an incredibly talented person, I believe, and this might not be true, but I might have just heard it as a rumour, I don't know. A lot of things I say on these videos aren't true, you know. I've got a statement down below that says that none of this is true, just in case. But there was in Frank Zappa's band a bloke called Bobby Martin, a brilliant keyboardist, brilliant saxophone player, and an incredible singer, and he got the gig with Stevie Nicks. Now, I'd like to interview Bobby Martin because he's such an incredible player and he'd have lots of Zappa stories. But I want to know what happened when he joined Stevie Nicks, because I believe she got rid of him. You know why? Because he was too good. Get rid of Bobby Martin. He sings much better than me. He's got a voice that's so rich and that doesn't sound like a wounded baby. Stevie Nicks, sorted.